off against Farame. We'll do an interview if we win. And we are off to the races here, folks. We have a standard mode for the final week of the Link to the Past Randomizer League. We wake up today to find that we have just 20 bucks from our uncle's chest. Go ahead and make our way through into the escape sequence. I'm hoping this. I personally am a fan of the Kingdom Samaria. As we see a early map check on Ninban's side, I see regular crystals on Eastern and the Tower of Hera, and that is the red pendant on Desert. So boots, we may not see a requirement. All right, now we're going to drop in and see what our uncle item is today. And we have ourselves a sword. Vanilla sword, and not the most exciting clear of the game. But it should be quick and easy for these two runners. Open up our first chest here and find where there's 20 rupees. And Ninban has found a 4-pack of bombs on the guard. So Ninban isn't gonna have to hunt for any more bombs here. Taale will still have to find them. But seeing a 4-pack in the prize package for the green guards, there should be a chance for him to get it. We will see how things go. Making our way up towards the back of the escape, heading down towards Zelda's cell. We'll release the prisoner. Only the maidens left. And I guess I missed that because it was an 8-pack that was picked up and both the runners picked it up. It just didn't pop up on my screen. Well, speaking of not having to worry about the boots, we're going fast because we've got boots right away. Both these runners feel pretty good to find those boots right off the bat because nobody likes going slow. This is a race after all. Those asking, oh, what have we missed so far? Well, we have sword and boots. That's just about it. And both runners have an 8-pack of bombs, so no bomb farming need to be done. Just quick jet through this escape. Alright, looks like both the runners are setting up for a double spin. Well executed, and there's the superior boomerang, in my opinion, laying out in that chest. That's 3 unique items already off. Well, 2 unique items and something sharp, that is. Alright, Ninban just a little bit ahead of Taale when we go through there. Both runners equally equipped, though, on their bomb counts and their rupees. Ninban pushing the ball and chain guard into the corner. Manages to take him out with just a half a heart remaining. And same on Taale's screen, we get the small key that we had to find somewhere, and we're off to the top. Both runners electing to grab, actually Taale grabs 2 hearts on the way up and gets a 3rd from the green guard, so they're back up to full health. Well, Ninban's at a heart and a half. I don't think he's too worried. Unless that key rat really runs around. Continue our way further through the escape. Just walk up this bridge and around these. Then we're heading upstairs to head into the sewers to face the true final boss of this escape dungeon, the rat that holds the key. With the sword in hand, I imagine won't give them too much trouble, but you never know. Rats just kind of do what they want. Go ahead and dash our way through the castle. It always feels good to find those super early boots. You're not hunting for them and you're not going slow. Who wants to go slow? We are speedrunning after all. Or are we speed gaming? These are the questions we must ask ourselves. Seems the tracker's just a little bit slow, but it's catching up here. So Ninban now is into the darkness. As this is standard mode, we are given a light cone for any time we come into these sewers to make sure that we can't be locked out of out of any items in here logically. And there's a piece of heart, so the burrito's still on the loose. Just gonna dash our way through a little bit more of the sewers. Now it's time to face the true enemy. The key rat is down on Ninban's side. And they're into the final part of the escape sequence. It's nice that one of the few times we actually get to bonk that thing close. The key rat down on Taale's side as we find 20, 20, and Burrito. So there's still one item left to be found in that final chest of the sanctuary. We will see what it is. So far, a pretty stacked escape sequence, I would say, with just having an early sword and early boots just says, yep, you're going to feel pretty good going through most of the things you have to face in this early game. Alright, and 5:36, Ninban crosses out the door. A great time through the escape as we find 3 bombs. So they walk out with a full package of bombs on the way out the door, and that feels pretty good. All the checks through Kakariko will be easy to do, and that's 5:51 on Taale's side to get out of the Kakariko with the escape sequence. And meanwhile, Ninban is going to go ahead and just immediately knock out the Bonk Rock's location that was unlocked by those boots. I mentioned Taale probably do the same thing, and we get a $50 package there, so we've got plenty of money for this early portion. Should be able to knock out the bottle vendor and anything else we need to right away. And with those boots in hand, though, it is one piece of the lumberjack puzzles. We get 5 rupees from the hoarder crab, and single rupees from the tier 1 tree pole. With those boots, lumberjack is partially is one step of logic. We'll see what's up there right now today, and that looked like just a big 20. So no Aga quite yet, but there's still a lot to be found before we can make that final call. As you see, 300 rupees growing in their natural habitat in the forest. We're pretty well stacked on money in this. We're getting close to the Zora money, but we will have to pay 100 to that bottle vendor. 3 more bombs in the Thieves' Grotto. And we're moving on. It looks like the tier 2 tree pole is full magic decanters. That's something to keep in mind if you ever seem to be low on magic. I do appreciate that one, Captain. Rupees truly do grow in the wild in Hyrule. Meanwhile, Ninban going into Blind's hut. 5 items after a bomb and a block puzzle. Get to start us off with a piece of heart. We have a lamp. We have 5 rupees. We have bombs. And we've got a bottle, so we can knock out all the Kakariko checks right away. Also, if you're a fan of Dr. Bob-tastic, that's 3 out of the 4 horsemen of the Agapocalypse we've already found. We know we're not needed for Lumberjack, but perhaps it's our way into the Dark World. Only time will tell. Alright, here we are into the Kakariko well. We've got ourselves a heart container. And 10 sticks. 20 bucks. 20 bucks. And a book. Stop into the local Hyrulean convenience store to pick up a magazine and stop at the ATM, I suppose. As we don't get a whole lot from the bottle vendor for 100 rupees, we'll see what the chickens are holding on to. The chickens closely guarded more bombs. Making our way over to the kid that was sick, and a cold wind blew on from Death Mountain. Made this kid sick, and for showing him a bottle, here's 50 bucks. Alright, opening into the back of the tavern. Not a whole lot to be found there. Go ahead and we've got boots. We can get whatever's hanging out on the library ledge. But we're not gonna spend the time though. That's only $20. Alright, and Ninban going to check the race game instead of diving it. And it's a bottle of red potion. He's gonna go ahead and leave it. Alright, so Ninban heading on down. I'm gonna go ahead and start the South Life World checks here. Making our way along the South Shore and see what else may be hidden. Ninban into the dam. Have to do a little bit of a block puzzle and then pull the lever. Block puzzle gives us $20. And now we will release the water and see what was flooded underneath. There's always an item somewhere, except when there's not. And there's another $300, so we're now set on money for the rest of this seed. And now we'll see what the mini Moldorms are guarding. 5 items within the cave. And with the fighter sword, and this shouldn't give us too much trouble. Just gotta make sure that the darn things hold still enough to whack them. And it looks like, perhaps, is there a commentator in the back of the mini Moldorm cave? I think that's Wolflink there.
There is indeed. Good afternoon, everyone. And we see Quake and Power Gloves as well. So, Bungie, I'm coming to this a little bit late, of course. Last minute thing. Care to fill me in on what we found and what's going on here? I don't know exactly the game mode we're playing here as well.
Alright, so recap, we started off with a standard defeat Ganon seed, and our uncle item was the sword, and our first chest was the boots. Cleared through Kakariko village, finding nothing more than a bottle and the lamp. And then finally just finding those power gloves there in Mini Moldorm Cave. And now a long walk to a cold cave provides us with 10 sticks. We'll see what Ninban decides to go to next. It looks like perhaps he's looking for a water walk.
Well, hopefully things get worked on around here. And yeah, water walk going into effect.
Definitely go ahead with the early sequence break there. We'll see just $300 hanging out on the Hylian Island. With the Zora money in hand, Ninban's going to go ahead on up to the King Zora, but first a stop at the Waterfall of Wishing. We get half magic and 3 bombs. So the runner's definitely got our money this seed. Now it's just a dangerous walk up to the king of all scams. And that's a hammer on the ledge.
Ooh.
So those flippers, despite we don't know if we're going to get them from dungeons, we definitely want those if we want that hammer.
Yeah, it very well can be required.
And there is our uncle's bombs given to us back for a 500 rupee ransom.
This side we have half magic on Zora as well, so not too important. It is out of logic, but could be useful later down the line for something like Cold Stare.
Now, part of me wants to know, seeing that we have 3 out of the 4 horsemen, 3 out of the 4 parts of Aghanim access, perhaps we're looking at flippers hanging out on the ledge of the pyramid?
Could be.
We do know that Lumberjack ledge only has a big 20, but...
Yeah, but this is looking like it might be Aga for Darkworld access.
We will see. There's still a few checks left when no one has made their way to the eastern area. So Taale took some interesting routing, going over to Mini Moldorm into Ice Rod, and then going back across to the dam. Perhaps they're looking at an early Agina play?
Possibly. Also, I just realized this also opens up for a not as common instance of required Aghanim. Because of where our hammer is, our flippers could be in Palace of Darkness, and thus we have to fight Aga to go to Palace of Darkness.
And that just sounds evil, and I like it.
Oh, it's like I said, it's a semi-rare one. The rarest one is, of course, the Hammer Pyramid Fairy, but that's not happening today.
Alright, so Taale is over into Agina's cave. Meanwhile, Ninban, following their gloves and their lamp, they have access to the Death Mountain.
Yeah, let's see what the old man has for us. Agina, meanwhile, just has some more explosives.
And the old man's tip today is the Ice Rod.
Might need that. So that's a good weapon for
really.
something like Lamola's.
As that spin speed just does not want to cooperate on Ninban's side, we see a full heart container on the desert ledge, and with the Book of Medora, this red pendant desert palace is fully clearable right now with this lamp and book and boots combo.
Ah, yes, and of course the hint system. Something we have to keep in mind. Armor is held by Sahasrara.
So green pendant, no dice. Of course, the pedestal could still have something, right?
Well, it also means we're not going to have any sort of red mail.
I sincerely doubt that, unless, of course, it happens to work out where the pedestal's required and they happen to be in the neighborhood, but I sincerely doubt it. Alright, and this is the final day of the A Link to the Past Randomizer League's regular season. Unfortunately, this match, there really is no playoff implication. It's just playing for a little bit of pride here, as we've got Master Sword in Desert.
That's the
our
third
final
piece.
of access. But there's some Titan's Mitts on Ninban's side in the Elder's Closet. Alright, so with that, that does give us access to the King's Tomb. Just a piece of heart and a big 20 on for Taale's side. They have their Master Sword, and they decided that's enough of Desert Palace. I do believe, though, that was both items inside. So smart on Taale to go ahead and dip out of Desert Palace. There's no more progression to be found, except for potentially that red pendant down the line, if they have to. We have not seen any of the anything of the Moon Pearl yet. But Taale is about to find their Titan's Mitts. Or, excuse me, their Power Glove. Did they pick up their first glove? I guess we'll see when he opens up the second glove. Perhaps the tracker's just not updating. That is indeed Titan's Mitts. Alright, so Ninban finishes their walk to Agina, and it looks like Taale is going to go ahead and over and check the checks in the Eastern Palace. We do have access to everything but what is on the boss now. All within logic.
I'm a little bit more about the fact that we have everything we need for Aga. But we're missing the Moon Pearl, which avoids Aga for the time being. But at the same time, Aga may still be required because the flippers could be in Palace of Darkness. This is a weird sort of Darkwood situation we've got here. You don't usually see this sort of like teetering on the edge of one way or the other.
Well, I think in Eastern Palace is going to have our answer for us. That's all. That's what we're just going to lean on. There's the flippers.
Okay. Unless people puts lag on life support.
Yeah, because now the only thing keeping Aghanim alive right now is a moon pearl on the pyramid ledge.
And that is literally one item out of 216 in the pool. Very, very low odds. But it could happen.
But there is something to be said with that sinking feeling of the logic teetering towards an Aga play just to find one of the two nopes to be found in Eastern Palace. And Ninban, after they go ahead and check the big chest of Desert Palace, will be left with nothing but this Eastern Palace play, which they could have already done. Because they'd already checked the village elder, saw the Titan's mitts, and said that was enough. Go ahead and check this hint tile I missed. A map and a bottle is locked in the fire side of Meyer, so no cutscene chest on Meyer today.
Good to know. And we got Eastern Sin here.
Unique
Paradox Cave.
Paradox Cave. Oof.
That's not That's not the boots hint though. The boots hint would probably say something like Link's house.
I think at this point it would say it would be the I don't know what it calls the escape sequence. Hyrule Castle.
I have a saying Tower Castle, yeah. What was the two things that were at Meyer? I missed.
There were the map and a bottle. We've already got one bottle, so I don't think we're going to be checking that firelock side. Right, one item left to be found in the Eastern Palace. Vegeta and the Flippers are locking our access to the hammer. And that's $100 in there, so now we gotta go pick up that hammer, and that we still don't have Dark World access, but that does give us access to not a whole lot.
Yeah, hammer's not.
So I think when we find that hammer, we're looking at Aga still. Because there's no Moon Pearl in there, so I think after we get to, I mean, that's a King's Tomb check for Taale, but we've already seen this, so I think we've got an Aga seed, folks. Unfortunately, without the Moon Pearl, they wouldn't really have access to anything in the overworld, because this isn't inverted. We're not looking to bunny walk to a specific NPC.
Yeah. It's looking like it might be Aga.
I don't know. There's nothing that has gone unchecked yet. Because we found both items in Desert. We have all the items in Eastern.
Oh.
No hammers.
That.
It's Master Sword. They have Aga. I mean, they have two swords, the lamp, and the boots. No, the boots don't matter. They have the lamp and two swords. That does give them access to Aga 1. And there's only thing Taale finds on the mountain here is Ice Rod and nothing else. So they have to go get their hammer from the Zora ledge, and then go into the Dark World. This is version 30, and the logic has been repaired where the two swords now count as regression. That logic bug has been fixed.
So, yeah, I have to say this is Aga. Based on it, I haven't been around the whole time to see all the checks that happen in like the first 10 minutes, but if there's nothing left, there's nothing left.
There is actually nothing left. The only thing Taale has left to do is go back to the Zora ledge and get their hammer. And that's it for the Dark World. The Light World, excuse me.
I think both runners are masters are now based on the blue tint.
And yes, both runners did check Sick Kid because the bottle came just before the Sick Kid. So all that's left is this almost synchronized swim down to Zora. To go pick up their hammer, and then all we've got left to do is fight a sorcerer. Now, Taale will fall a little bit behind because Ninban has already checked these via water walk.
Yeah, which sped him a little bit.
So
Now,
Ninban
I'm trying to
takes a
think
long
here.
walk. Go ahead.
I don't think the Moon Pearl's on the pyramid. I think he wants to throw us another curveball.
So what
But I'm
else?
trying to think what sort of progression would be on the pyramid.
Bow, perhaps?
Bow could be
And
there.
then the moon pearls on the Armos Knights, or a flute to make us bunny walk in mire. To mire shit. No, we need a mirror for that.
Mirror would also get us up to the Paradox Cave.
Either way, we're facing Aghanim, and it's gonna give us something. Whether it's the moon pearl or another item, that's yet to be seen. Realistically, it's a mirror, hookshot, and bow would be the only items aside from the moon pearl after we face off with our sorcerer.
Yeah, and Mirror and Hookshot are essentially the same thing in this regard. They are just got access to Paradox Cave. And by virtue of that, Tower Hera. Of course, it could... No, actually, no. Could be powder as well. I didn't think of that.
Magic powder could be that item there. And wouldn't that be something? A fetch quest could be between us. The mushroom as well. That's just a little extra salt in the wound if we wanted to.
Oh, we could go a lot deeper if you think about it. It could just be a
fetch quest.
It could just be a compound sort of chain here where you have to pick up one piece, get the unique item in Paradox, which is probably the Moon Pearl considering this. So it's most likely going to be Hookshot or Mirror. But the unique item is not the Moon Pearl, but in fact something like the flute, and you have to check Misery Mire and Checkerboard Cave.
I mean, there are a lot of rude chains that we could follow down to finish out this. But until we see what is on the other side of the Aghanim fight, it's all just hypothesis. And torture for the runners because we are Twitch chat and we are mean.
I try not to be mean. Come on, don't be there. Hey, we get some we get another hint here. If Ninban chooses to read it.
I think you will. A unique item is in the castle. There's our boots hint.
That's good to have at least.
Well, of course, we already have them because we were forced to do that check, but as this was a standard mode seed.
Indeed. So kind of redundant, but you knew there's at least one boots in out there, so good it was at least here, I guess. A place you don't want to revisit if you don't want to get that information.
I suppose you're right on that one. Alright, so here we are on up to our first required geometry test of this seed.
Yep, and there's a little bit of a micro game we like to play, I guess we could say. Chad, there is a seeded pattern here that Agham's going to throw at us. It's always one orange shot, then a 50-50 for an orange or an unreflectable blue shot. How many unreflectable blue shots are we getting?
I'm going with 5.
5?
How about you?
I'm going to say 2. The most, by the way, folks, they can get is 15 pending no misses on the orange shots.
And there's one of them right now.
And for those who have not seen this fight, it is a guaranteed orange shot, 50-50 on these blue shots, as well as the orange shot that you can reflect again for extra damage. Skip a cycle. 3, wow. I'm already done.
Oh,
and then the fifth attack is always this lightning attack, which arcs randomly down through the room. After which the cycle repeats.
I always love standing behind Aghanim while he shoots the lightning bolt.
Oh, it's not going to be 15.
But we are up to 4.
Very, very mean Aga today.
And
In case you're wondering, oh, this is random, and both runners are going to get different patterns. No. In the case of the randomizer, most of the bosses have seeded RNG patterns. Aghanim is one of the clear cases. Both runners are going to get the same patterns.
Unless one of them dies.
Yeah, unless one of them dies. But that is Aga 1 down for Ninban. Let's see what the pyramid yields.
I do love that. As we get a map check there, that's 5 and 6 on Turtle Rock and Ice Palace. The remaining pendants being Skull Woods and Misery Mire.
Skullwood specifically is the green pendant.
So the Skull Woods is the key to mail, and there
Moon Pearl on
is the
pyramid.
Moon Pearl.
It happened. Of course, it happens on the one seat I coveted late on.
It just about had to be. It took Ninban Sprite a moment to flip over to not being a bunny.
Yeah, because it needs to reset your state. And we get the bunny music for a little bit.
Do love some bunny music. But it looks like we are heading off to the cave formerly known as Hype on Ninban's side.
Legacy or
What kind of
reputation.
cave do we have today?
Could be good, could be bad. I'm going to say it lives up to its reputation.
Alright, here we go. First item check is 50 bucks. Second item check, the Tempered Sword. Third, the Piece of Heart. 4 Piece of Heart. And 5 Heart Container.
So a little extra health. Tempered Sword is good, though. I'd say that was a good, solid 4. It's not the worst.
Sharp out of 10.
I would say it's not the worst cave, but a little extra health and a full refill so you can explore Dark World a little bit more cleanly without having to worry about dying to one of the Ropa hugs. There's that green enemy there on a Taale screen.
Yeah, the Dark World overworld enemy is not to be trifled with, as Stumpy gives us $5 as a thank you present for turning him back into a tree.
So that ice rod is required, as we now see with Turtle Rock being one of the 5-6 crystals.
And now after seeing that Dark World map check, they're thinking, thank God I have an ice rod already. All right, between 1 and 30 digs will give us Alec Baldwin's prize today.
Haven't heard him call that in a while. Jeez, that's a throwback.
I do love the mini game theme of this. One of the less appreciated, as Ninban digs himself his stairs to 3 bombs.
That looked to be about the latter half, definitely. Probably about maybe 18 to 20. I wasn't keeping count.
I was more amused by the fact that he was building some stairs. So Jeremiah is going on his tour. Gonna start with a tour of his own village through the Dark World, though. No mirrors, we can't just drop him off real quick.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be critical here, but I question Ninban grabbing the Smith now.
It does mean that they will not be able to go into Thieves Town right away.
Yeah, I would have at least done Thieves Town first, then turn into Smith. But I suppose maybe he's thinking, do the southern outcast checks, save warp, then do the northern checks, and then do Thieves Town, which would also work.
I mean, there's no right or wrong way to route this one. I mean, perhaps it pays off for them. Perhaps you knock out Thieves Town last, and then decide to combo with another dungeon if you so fit. Though we do have Skull Woods, but not a whole lot, so... At least it's the green pendant, which leads to armor, which we're not that interested in.
Yeah.
So if we look at our current pendant and crystal check, what could be hiding out on pedestal today? The hookshot screams out to me quite loudly.
Bow.
That too.
Food's dead. If the medallions are different, the medallion for Turtle Rock could be there. If we don't already have it.
Indeed. Alright, so what kind
Mirror
of Dwarven craftsman do we have today?
Mirror could also be there.
Ooh. And we find out that we have... it's just a Dwarven Mint.
So, quite a few items that can be there. but is it actually going to be an Agapet seed? I highly doubt that.
It would be fun, though, as a little bit of a final hurrah for these two runners and their teams. Alright, so Ninban heading in from the northern side of the village of Outcasts.
Yeah, so that is what Ninban was doing. Grabbing the smith on the south side, save warping to the top half.
$50 and 10 sticks on Ninban's side from the chest game.
Got a little bit of profit out of that and nothing else.
And they're heading into Thieves Town before checking the Sea House that Taale's checking, which is just 10 sticks this time.
Yeah, 10 more arrows.
There's lots of those stick and bomb packs out there in the world. Right, and there's just there's a small key, and with the hammer in hand, we have full access to the Thieves Town big chest.
We do.
I can't help but wonder if maybe these runners are going to check into Skull Woods. You know, we know it's a pendant. There's still 2 items, and they're fairly easy to... If they're on the front side, they're fairly easy to get to. Unfortunately, no mirror that we could potentially look at what's on that pedestal with this book we have here.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
So we're going to dash on up, pick up another small key, and go ahead and further deep into Thieves Town. Gonna shed some light on Blind's room, and then go rescue Blind the maiden in the bottom.
Meanwhile, we did find the blue boomerang.
Just call us 2 rangs.
Alright, so there is a hint here. Let's see what we got. Nope, that's not a hint. That's a joke.
I mean, solid advice if you are playing Zelda 1, which we're not.
Yeah. I never did learn how to do the bomb counting in that game.
One of these, I did manage to finally clear it, realizing I never finished it as a kid, like a month ago.
I've cleared it a few times, but I don't do like keeping accounts or anything like that, like the top runners do.
There's a lot to keep track of in that game, as there is a lot to pick up in this.
Yeah.
And not to worry, chat. And nobody has reprogrammed the randomizer to put endgame spoilers in the hint system.
Yeah. In the most cases, you usually get like Zelda 1 flavor text.
Isn't there some stuff from Zelda 2 as well? Or at least I'm trying to figure out where the hint about money being in the banana stand comes from. It's a reference.
I think that's a movie reference or something. I don't think that's actually in any of the games I played.
Oh, Arrested Development, according to chat. A show I had never seen.
Neither have I. But it was actually a video game, but I probably wouldn't have known it.
Alright, and just the map, unfortunately, in that big chest. A long walk for a whole lot of nothing.
I think that means Blind has the last item.
I do believe so. I'm pretty sure we saw the compass already. But did you know that Blind cannot have the small key?
Yes, actually. It's
Because
coded in such a way that worst case scenario is that you need to steal a key, maybe, but sometimes it's not required of you.
Yeah, the randomizer is set up in such a way where if you were to use your keys in the most boneheaded way, you would not be soft locked. Alright, and a fairly on-script blind fight for Ninban, and that's Fire Rod.
Oh, okay. I don't think they're gonna go to Skull Woods for fighting Mothula, but that does let you full clear that place and get its 2 items if you feel like you need to check it, and you're in the area, I would say you might as well do it.
And we
Check
also
also
have full
Bumper Cave.
access to Ice Palace.
Yeah.
Pending key logic.
And while you're up there, I would say check Bumper Cave as well when you go to Skull Woods, just to make sure that there's nothing there that you need the cape for. But no, Ninban's gonna save and quit out. This looks like they're going straight to Ice Palace. Following the logic.
I mean, there's logic to both plays that we've called out, because that gives us full access to Skullwoods. So there's a lot less items inside, though. Though Ninban may not be able to clear it, they'll probably bomb jump and they'll be okay. But
Yeah.
perhaps the logic would have required the Cane of Samaria. We won't know that until we get through.
Oh, keys. Oh no!
And Taale unfortunately losing a little bit of control of Blind there, as Ninban's picking up a bomb upgrade with plenty of cash on hand. That doesn't hurt, I suppose. Perhaps they need a refill.
Yeah, they were at 7 bombs. But just taking a couple seconds to go buy that bomb upgrade guarantees that you have full bombs for any sort of bomb jumps, and in case you failed those bomb jumps. But anyway, juicy hands here. Cashing Kakariko, well, not a good one to start us off.
Ice Palace, a plethora of items and information.
Yeah. I would say Ice is the second most lucrative dungeon now in Link to the Past. And not so much because of item density, so much as because it's both items and information density.
That is, of course, if there is actually information, which we never know for sure.
Correct.
We start with just a compass.
Alright, Tao's gonna try again. The fight is significantly harder on the second pass.
But does have the red potion in hand.
Yeah. There is thankfully a shop just outside of Blind's house.
Has to be careful here. A hug from any head is 2 hearts, and a fireball is 1. Now he's got sword beams, and that's trivial. I missed.
Did Ninban check the second hint?
No, he just walked out. I just watched it on the restream. He just walked out. Who needs him? Perhaps they're still.
Oh, he did read the hint. Our chat is informing us that it was a unique item in plain sight. Thank you, chat.
And we've already got that. Thanks, game.
Yeah, that was most likely leading us to the hammer. Although it could mean that, although it could be pointing at something else. We don't know.
It's already been true twice. That's the hammer and the moon pearl. Both were in plain sight.
Well, I mean, I've commented a scene once in which it said unique items in Ice Palace, and all 3 items were unique. They were all Y items, I think, in fact.
But Taale is going ahead and following that fire rod.
Third hint in Ice is a joke hint, so not good information to get. Most of this we already knew.
Ninban setting up one of the other Ice Palace bomb jumps. Perhaps we should just rename this Bomb Jump Palace.
This is actually one of the harder bomb jumps too.
Gets it though. On a second shot.
Now Ninban has to be a little careful here at 1.5 hearts.
I believe there's maybe a heart here. Yep, there's one.
Good knowledge.
And there's the bow and Ice Palace.
Well then, that's
a lot
huge.
More of the game just opened up to us now. That's all the Palace of Darkness. So Ice Palace certainly seems to be the play early on here. We'll see if Taale finds anything in Skull Woods as they take the Wallmaster ride out.
I'm pretty much gonna call it right here. I think Ninban is going to go straight from Ice Palace to Palace of Darkness and clear the other
my.
area. And there's the Cane of Samaria as well.
Ice Palace coming up gangbusters on Ninban's side.
Okay. Depending on the medallion for Turtle Rock, we are a hookshot away from go mode. And there's the magic cape.
So there's our access to Spike and Bumper Cave.
Ninban with the hard reads here. That's impressive.
Three
Follow me the fire
all
rod.
3 items being unique equips.
Yeah, even as a safety if he absolutely needs it for Cold Stare, but probably just burn down the shell.
He does have half magic in the Tempered Sword.
Yeah, this is pretty clean.
As Taale objects to that bunny beam chasing him down. I don't know if I've ever seen the Phoenix Wright bunny spray.
It's the Blue Badger. The mascot, I think Gumshoe makes for the police, if I understand the series properly.
Was there a Cold Stare fight there? I missed it. 'Cause that was just beautiful execution by Ninban.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also,
Hog champs.
Cold Stare had a key, and this Cane of Samaria was locked in this dungeon, which was required for Cold Stare.
All right, that's the end of Mothula for Taale's side. That's the compass.
So the Moth didn't need to die, but the green pendant does give Taale some armor later, which he might think he needs.
Well, he may go ahead and pick it up whenever he gets over to Eastern Palace again, which we'll have to clear for the crystal. Speaking of Eastern Palace, that looks like where Ninban's going now.
Yeah, starting with Eastern first is the smart play here because it does it in the mirror. Normally you would do... Oh no, he's gonna do pod first. My mistake.
Well, there is more items to be found there.
Yeah.
At this point, I think we got all 3 items out of Eastern Palace.
Yeah, we did get all items out of the Eastern Palace, but the usual routing here is, of course, when you're clearing is pod Eastern, but you need the mirror for that. So I was thinking do Eastern pod, clear Eastern, that way you don't have to do another save war transition to save yourself a little bit of time.
Absolutely. Well, it's just I guess this is what Ninban has decided to do because they want to knock off the greater plethora of checks first.
Yeah, that makes sense too. And they might find the mirror in here anyways and just make my point moot.
And that is something you could be thinking of. Well, if there's a lot of places the mirror could pop up, and it might be here, and we need to find it.
Big chest for Taale. Just some bombs. Looks like Skullwoods was in fact a dud.
That's unfortunate for Taale, unless, of course, the pedestal comes into play. And that hookshot could definitely be still living there, as well as the magic mirror.
Well, we're starting with a small key at least, so this dungeon wasn't bow locked right away, but it doesn't really matter at this point. We already have the bow to get through.
And it looks like Taale... Are they making their way over to pod?
No, they're getting the armor.
Interesting they decided to do that right away as opposed to... I suppose that there is good reason that the blue mail comes from Ice Palace. Everything in there hurts. And it hurts a lot.
And the red mail is there just for the gauntlet.
Some cash requires a big red bomb, so I don't think we're going to be spending our time with that.
Yep, that's Super Bomb dead.
Unfortunate. Because I think that probably the most obnoxious combination would be needing to do Pyramid as well as Agap Head. Because, you know, jerk mode. Almost the God Pixel on Ninban's side. That red Bari just in the wrong place. Alright, another chest. And another $20. So far, nothing in pod.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if there actually is any point of sticking around and just going for the boss, but Ninban's gonna full clear. Makes sense.
It looks like Taale is going to dive pod before they go to Ice Palace. And that's gonna come back to hurt them because they're forcing themselves into a double dip of this.
Was there a key on Bollock's side?
Yes.
Okay.
Or the big
So
key, anyway.
the big key was there.
Actually, no, the big key wasn't on Bollock's side. It was the first chest when you entered the arena.
So if there was only one big key, there's the net.
There's the bug net.
So Taale can at least, I think, I'm not 100% sure on the key logic here, but Taale could collect everything except for the chests that are bow locked and be more or less fine with the progression here. I think the key logic will allow
Unless, of course,
them through.
Unless, of course, for the next progression is hanging out on the Helmasaur King.
That's true.
I do not believe that Taale has a potion remaining. They did buy a red one, but used it. Though I don't remember. Well, if they I remember they flipped through their bottles and they were both empty. Unless they stopped for a refill, I didn't see. They're out of potions, so no potion glitch for them at the moment.
Yeah.
And that's
They
confirmation right
used-
there.
Taale used their red potion on blind because they needed the health.
And neither runner decided to pick up the free red potion that was on the race game. So far, nothing in pod, and I missed if we had the map or compass.
We're missing the compass.
So, Helmasaur is nothing. So, pod is nothing but the prize.
Yep. Alright, so Ninban's about to head down to the Helmasaur King. Taale, meanwhile, about to check the
find
last.
out this is not the place they need to be.
Yeah. I think at this point, Taale will know that it's Ice Palace.
But there's not to say that Taale's play was wrong. It just ended up being wrong for this seed.
Yeah.
There are more items in pod available, even without the bow. Those asking in chat, Ninban elected to pick up a bomb upgrade in the Pond of Happiness before heading into Ice Palace. That's why they've got more than 10.
Yeah. I've seen a few runners do that, actually. Just pick up a bomb upgrade before heading in. Refills their bombs, and also make sure they have more than enough to handle any sort of extra bomb jumps they have to do for the dungeon.
I mean, as far as a convenient place, the Pond of Happiness is pretty much golden where it's at, because you need more bombs in Ice Palace than most places. Just because of how we like to sequence break this game. And with that, that is Ninban's third crystal 53 minutes in. Now we're looking for just a mirror and a hook shot, and then potentially a coin.
Yeah. So, Ninban will most likely finish Eastern Palace here after a save and quit. Do you think they're going to go up to... Well, no, they can't reach Turtle Rock, actually.
Yeah, with Eastern Palace being done here, the only thing I'm looking at right now for potential... lost my train of thought. Catfish is available to us right now?
Where's Ninban going?
He's going to Spike Cave.
Yeah, that's the only check that he can reach up here.
Yeah, we have access to the second part of the Smith chain. We have access to the catfish. Why not just use the cape and dash?
Trying to conserve magic in case he wants to make a return trip, you know, with in case this is a mirror.
There's a hook shot in Spike Cave.
Oh, right.
He's going right back to the mountain.
So that means that cape was logically required. And it was, I believe, that meant that it was a logical double dip into Ice Palace to get to the Bowlock side, if I'm understanding that right, maybe?
I mean, I think you could. I'm pretty sure you could go Ice Palace. I know. I suppose you needed the hook shot to clear that room, didn't you?
Yeah. Left side had the cape, right side had the hammer, had the bow.
Ice Palace is a logical mess that we just decided to skip with bomb jumps.
Yeah. And now it's time for the unique item in Paradox Cave. We are a mirror away from a potential go mode. We need to see what Turtle Rock's medallion is. Alright, it's in the upper floors.
$50. 10 arrows. The flute.
That's not the unique item we wanted to see.
No, because that gives us access to the pendant Misery Mire, as well as the checks outside. So now, mirror pedestal looking possible. Purple just turned in for Taale reveals just a piece of heart.
And no news on pedestal for those just now tuning in. We're gonna go see what Hera is though, and maybe also Ether Tab while we're up here.
I think Ether Tablet looks to be the play. Hold our swords aloft to the sky, pray to the goddesses of Hyrule, and we get an offering of $20. Thank you for this blessing. Oh, magical ATM rock.
I haven't heard it called that before. Oh, the dead rock blocking the entrance. Scrolling it off screen. Smart play. Alright, 2 hints here in Hera. Almost as valuable in terms of information gathering. If the hints actually behave.
Dead rock's gonna dead rock.
Alright, first hint. Unique items in Mini Moldorm Cave. That was our glove.
More information we already know. Thanks, game. And it looks like with that, we are going into a coffee break on Ninban's side.
It doesn't look like it.
At least he could have chosen for a coffee break, but I think he just wants to stay sharp. And we've got a catfish on the right side.
I see what he's doing. That's actually smart. Catfish is only $20. What Ninban is doing here, actually, Bungie, he's setting up to do a death warp. He's gonna take damage from these last couple of tiles on purpose, so that can be one shot by the Stalfos when he gets the big key.
You know, that's a pretty good idea. Which of course feels pretty good unless the mirror turns up down here.
Oh, no, it's a big key.
Oh, of course. That's why we're here.
You get the magic refill as well.
Even though there's already one in that room. Perhaps Taale, not realizing that Ice Palace is on the table for them.
Possibly.
They're running out of other locations that they have access to because Ice Palace has the keys to a lot of this world.
Yeah.
As you go ahead and climb up the Tower of Hera.
Alright, second thing coming in. I want another item maybe here. Piece of heart. So catching some arrows in Western Swamp. So left side swamp is dead.
So that's, was that a mirror I just saw?
I think
I
it
missed
was. Wait, I didn't mean you.
I'm just so dumbfounded at this point. Oh, it's blue armor, okay.
Oh yeah, he's blue shy. There's our other armor upgrade. Wow, we're blind. Maybe we should start making puns.
Oh, I always love seeing that when Molar was like, no, no, you're not coming down here.
Uh-oh, that was a poke. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, look at Taale.
Hello. It looks like we're finding. It looks like we're gonna go ahead and get a pedestal check here. So get the hype in chat, folks. Let's see what we get for 3 pendants today. This magic coin freezes everything.
Oh, that is huge! If ether is required for Turtle Rock, that means this is all dungeons.
We will see now, but that Taale, that's not what they were hoping to find.
But that information is still a huge boon to them. Because when will Ninban read the pedestal?
I don't see them doing it for quite a while until they run out of things, but Taale needs to make their way to Ice Palace. There's nothing else for them until they do so.
And Ninban could potentially go to Turtle Rock, but is not choosing to do so. Wants to do all of the light world checks.
He'll do the light world checks, and now he's on the bottom of the mountain, so he can lift up the rock and now be on the dark side. Start from the top in the light, work your way down, then in the dark world you move from the bottom up.
And for those just tuning in, we have not checked either medallion. If it is ether for Turtle Rock,
Taale's
then
got
it's all
the animation
dungeons.
Boon.
All right, Taale's coming up here to the mountain.
They will find their hook shot, which is going to pull them further away from their bow. And there's the mirror, so you can forget that for being hidden. So now we're a Turtle Rock medallion away from go mode right now.
Yeah, and if it's ether, this is all dungeons.
But we're not going to find out for a moment here on Ninban's side. Alright, there's the hook shot for Taale. They really need to get to Ice Palace.
And the single arrow. You know what? Maybe Taale thinks that couldn't do ice without the hook shot. Maybe he doesn't know the bomb jump.
Well, they're
All right,
about
chat.
to have it.
Moment of truth.
That's ether. We're all dungeons.
Ladies and gentlemen, pet is 100% required. Ether is on the pedestal and is required to enter Turtle Rock.
And here we are at the end of the last day of the Link to the Past Randomizer League in a match that means nothing. Here we've got it, folks. We have an Agaped seed. Oof.
And I joined this seed late. I want to add this. I joined this seed late. So any sort of bad luck I could have caused could not have happened.
I'm still
it's all on you, I feel.
Perhaps I just wanted to bring a little bit extra hype to this final day of the Link to the Past Randomizer League's regular season. Unfortunately, this one does not have the playoff bearings, but I'm excited to bring this to you all the same, as we have 2 talented runners facing off. Taale making their checks of the Eastern Death Mountain.
And some of the people are asking why Aggro was required. We had a classic Moon Pearl on the pyramid.
We've got us an all dungeons defeat Ganon seed here, folks. We cleared through the light world in the beginning of the game, found ourselves Titan Smiths and a hammer, and no Moon Pearl. But that was on the pyramid ledge.
Now, here's the worst part about this. Ninban did not check the pedestal.
Ninban is a long way from checking that pedestal, as Taale decided to clear through Skull Woods, which Ninban has completely disregarded.
And That was our third joke hint. I think that's all that is available in the item pool, unless we get a duplicate. But I don't think we've had one.
There is still the Dark World shopping mall.
Yeah. I have it on my notes listed as Dark Ice Rod. But there's also the hint at Missing Mire, there's also the hint at Turtle Rock. But I think out of all the joke hints, we've hit all three.
There's a lot to be played for here, though. Ninban won't be too worse for wear for a while because they have some crystal dungeons to clear ahead of them. So eventually they are going to get pulled that direction. Alright, Taale jumps across the Paradox Cave.
Yeah, Taale does have the hookshot, does have Agate Defeated, does have the blue mail.
It's one of those days where the tracker just decides, well, eventually I'll work for you.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's just too wrapped up in the hype of this seed. Aga 1 required, pedestal required. And now we're 2 canes. We're 2 rangs, 2 canes, 4 swords. We're all over the place. Something missing? Perhaps the big key?
Big key's in the back. Yeah, Taale now with entering Tower Hera.
So that's still going to pull them further away from the Ice Palace play that they need to make. Right, making our way through Swamp Palace. We know that all of these checks that Ninban is making are not going to help them finish this seed. So they have to make it their way through the pedestal that they're hoping really isn't the key.
Well, they could be helping him, actually. One of them could be our silver arrows.
True that.
And one of them could be bombos, which we may still need for Misery Mire. It may not be Quake. We know it can't be Ether, of course, because that's a contradiction to what we now know.
All right, so that is so we are so I guess we are a Mire medallion away from.
Yeah, we're a Mire medallion away from a true go mode here.
Now, if Taale makes the Ice Palace play next. With their information, I mean, hear me out on this one. So, if Taale can make their way to Ice Palace next, pick up their last 2 required items, that puts them in go mode, I do believe, pending the Mire Medallion. I think they check that next, after they go to Ice Palace, to see if they can just go mode the rest of these dungeons.
Yeah. Even if Ninban finds bombos, Ninban's not technically in go mode.
No, they're still. They don't know what they don't know the key piece of information that we knew via Taale, that the pedestal is
required
to the Ether Medallion, which is our key to Turtle Rock.
And question chat, yes, Taale does know that Ether's on the pedestal. Taale was the one to check for us.
And I imagine I don't know if they've actually checked Turtle Rock though. But they still have to do the Dark World Death Mountain checks, so I imagine they'll have that information. They'll have that information soon.
They make their way back in here.
Because they still have to go to Mirror. They still have to grab the mirror from Super Money Cave.
And yeah, both of them
also going to pull them further away from Ice Palace because that puts them in the swamp.
Yeah, both of our runners have blue mail currently. Taale is about to get the red mail. Both runners have Agate Defeated.
Right, and there's Bomb Jump. Or this, I don't know what I was even saying. Oof.
So both runners have a piece of the puzzle here that the others doesn't know. Ninban knows that Ether is required for Turtle Rock. Taale knows where Ether is.
So Taale will have that information just in a moment once they finish that Tower of Hera, and we hold our sword to the sky and get an offering of a red potion from the goddesses in the southern part of the light
That's
world.
all 4 bottles, isn't it?
I do believe so.
As you said, they both get the one at race game, so both of them have 2 bottles, and they got it from different sources. Oh, Taale did race game. My mistake. So we're still missing a bottle out there somewhere.
Alright, so K45 check for Ninban. We'll see what's hanging out here. That's the end of Moldorm for Taale. I imagine the Dark World Death Mountain is the next things on her list to do.
Indeed.
They need to get to after they finish out the Dark Death Mountain. She really needs to find her way to Ice Palace, and she's running out of locations at that point. Though there is Swamp Palace still for them.
Oh, you know what? Ninban will know. He's got the mirror, and he's gonna probably check Skull Woods here in a little bit to check and see if Ether is there.
Well,
and maybe check
first he's gonna check to the purple chest. It looks like.
Oh yeah, we did know there was a bottle in Meyer. So yeah, we do know where all 3 bottles are.
But
or all 4.
I think they'll mirror and turn on their flute next, so they can get down to Gary a little bit faster.
That makes sense to me.
So get your flip in chat. We're about to serenade a swag duck on Ninban's side, as Taale is now down to the bottom of the Death Mountain and heading into the dark side.
So, I think Ninban's gonna check this purple chest in, then flute back to 3, do Skull Woods, and then mirror and check pad. If they don't do that sequence, I will be a little bit surprised.
I mean, there is still a clear... they can't... Oh, actually, never mind me. They're kind of out of locations, except... Because we know the back of Desert Palace is nothing. Because we found both items in there already.
Eastern Palace is still open to Ninban, but has already been pretty much gutted for all of its items.
So perhaps they flute to 5 and just knock it out. Yep, they still have the Meyer area to check. The overworld checks are still available to them.
Yeah.
Alright, here's the moment of truth. Look at that medallion requirement.
Quake!
Alright, so we're in no mode. We know where everything we need is, except for the silver arrows, which we don't technically need. I mean, we do have access to Butter Sword, so Ganon, well...
Bombos is right here anyway, so even if I'm wrong, we still have both medallions so we can enter Meyer with.
Numismatists just get excited, because we're going to have a full coin collection, and now Taale knows that this is a pedestal-required seed.
I will at least freely admit, those quick medallion checks are always something I mess up sometimes.
But it really doesn't matter, because the key was just under the mat.
Yeah. It looked wavy to me.
Coins are hard, and they do it so fast. Alright, Ninban heading up into the Dark World via the village portal.
Yeah, I have
Skull Woods.
They're thinking Skull Woods, and hopefully they check pedestal on their way out, and that'll give them the go mode.
We know what he may do, because we know because I think the items are. I know one item was in the backside, wasn't it? I think the final item was. I think the final item was under the bridge.
Yeah, and it wasn't anything important.
Because if both items had been in the front side, perhaps he would have checked the pedestal before committing to the moth. As Taale releases their swag duck, they're still being pulled further away from the Ice Palace play, which is what they need to get to. Clear through more of Skullwoods on Ninban's side.
Boots online now for Taale.
And they're heading into the Dark World via this portal. I wonder if they think they missed a location.
Well, they have this location. It's Ice Palace.
They're walking up. I think they're rereading the pedestal.
Yeah, so if those missed it, we're going to reread the pedestal here.
This magic coin freezes everything. That means there's the Ether Medallion. And the Ether Medallion is required to open Turtle Rock.
Ninban is checking.
Alright, and with this... Alright, here we are, folks. And then at 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 38 seconds, with that read of the pedestal, Ninban is in go mode.
Yes, he now knows that this is all dungeons.
He knows exactly what he needs to do and where he needs to go. Meanwhile, Taale has just opened up the door to Ice Palace.
It's... What little information advantage that Taale had there is now gone. Also, I think Ninban has soft-locked himself.
No, he
got out.
If anything, if anything, his portal wouldn't have been useful. He would have had to re-enter the Dark World.
I thought it was stuck in a mirror transition loop.
No, he was he bonked over the first time back into the Dark World, and then just couldn't get the iframes to disappear. So if anything, the worst thing that could happen where he was just stuck bonking into the Dark World and had to go re-enter. With this, Ninban doesn't care about any checks except for what will get him to the end of the dungeons, because Ninban just needs to kill all the bosses to get to Turtle Rock. Now, thankfully for those in the know, the randomizer changes the butter sword to the tempered sword for this fight, because gold sword doesn't actually do damage to Mothula for reasons. Alright, there's the green pendant for Ninban. I doubt they're going to turn it in. And it looks like you may be correct from an earlier thought there, Wolf Link. It appears that Taale is setting up as if they don't bomb jump.
Yeah. I mean, might know the Ice Palace bomb jump coming up here in the next room, but probably doesn't know the setup for the one that was that you use it to skip the hookshot requirement. Yeah, they're setting up for this one now.
I guess the moral of the story is learn your bomb jump. Sequence breaking can make or break a run.
And Ninban knows Fire-Locked Mire does not have anything for him, so he just needs to find the boss keys.
I mean, the hint system... only thing the hint system truly got for us this time was just... It knocked off unfun checks. We didn't have to do left side swamp. We don't have to do left Fire-Locked Mire. Saved us a little bit of time by checking those squares.
It also, if Ninban wants to pick out the red mail, he knows that Sahasrara has it.
They do have to go back to Eastern Palace. So if they really feel like they need it, they can get over there. Though I'd imagine they're probably just going to approach from the Flute from 5, which puts Sahasrara kind of out of the way.
And it looks like it wasn't any bombs from Mire. I need to sharpen my eyes when it comes to pedestal from medallion checks rather.
Hey, a shovel. Too bad we're never gonna do that.
Shovel could actually be useful in a very niche scenario in which they run out of arrows.
Or if the silvers are buried there, but I don't think they're gonna mess with that. And there we have a almost Godmire on Ninban's side. That's the big key. They're heading back.
Yeah. So, given what they have, I am 100% expecting this to be dash strats for Vitreous.
Gold sword, cape. Yeah, I'd imagine dash strat's probably the way to go.
And I think Ninban, not going with that magic, is setting up something here. Let me see.
Or perhaps they're just perhaps they're gonna not use the cape. They'll just go for spins.
I don't think Spooky is armed. I did not see dust there on Ninban's end. No, it's not.
Well, he doesn't have to do it quite yet. But nope. No spookies today.
Yeah, I can tell when Spooky is armed now at the very least. I didn't see any dust when he lifted the pot, which prevents the spooky splash from the fire rod to be saved. So I knew as soon as he lifted the pot that he did not have spooky armed.
One of these days I'm gonna have to read through that and really get an understanding of it. It's an interesting glitch, but it's just, and that was I mean, it's now starting to fade a little bit, but it's a more recent discovery than a lot of these. This game, 27 years old, and still things being found to this day.
Well, by my understanding, spooky action was known, but we only didn't fully understand until very recently how it worked.
And how to make it work for us.
Exactly. It was just something that would happen randomly.
I mean, there's
during runs.
Just like a month ago, where the now dubbed Kern jump was discovered in order to skip out on an aga requirement in inverted seeds.
And just in general, really. I've seen people doing that corner jump elsewhere.
Just one of those. I think skipping aga in inverted is one of those use cases where it's more common, I think. Alright, so Ninban just has to go ahead and take care of the land molus here. Both items were found in desert, but he doesn't care about items. He only cares about pendants and crystals. He only cares about pendants and crystals.
And Taale has indeed defeated Aga, fighting Colster now. Down to one puff. Couple slashes, down it goes.
I mean, Gold Sword, there really isn't too much of this fight. It's pretty trivial. And there's Land Molus for Ninban. But with this, Taale finds themselves in almost go mode.
Ooh, nice one cycle. Area. Nice one cycle there by Ninban. And with that, that is the third pendant.
Pedestal is open to them now. But will they go to Eastern first?
I would say go to Pedestal first. Go to Eastern real quick. Maybe grab Red Mail on the way. Then go do Turtle Rock.
I guess the question is, where are they fluting? And they've gone to 5. They're knocking out Eastern first.
Fair enough.
With the spin speed executed with this, once Taale walks into here and picks up the Bombos medallion. Piece of heart. And at 123.33, Taale is also in go mode, but they have a lot more to do.
Are they in go mode?
They picked up all the items from...
Wait.
Yeah?
Okay, they do have the mirror. Wasn't light up on our tracker just yet. I was a little worried there. They are in go mode.
They got it from Super Bunny Cave. With this, I think look at the story. The story of this seed is: did you go to Ice Palace first? On Ninban's side, the answer to that question was yes, and then you see where they're at. On Taale's side, the answer was no. However, we knew that this was a logically required double dip of Ice Palace. If you did not know how to bomb jump across the hook shot locked portion of Ice Palace, you weren't able to get to the Cane of Samari, I believe. So the story of this is after this one is perhaps we all should be studying up on that hook shot skipping palm jump in the Ice Palace. All Ninban has a date with the Armos Knights, and then they're off to Turtle Rock. Just has a gun through that, and they're going to be on their way to GT. The great debate between what is go and what is no mode. I do believe no mode is something that a commentator or a viewer can have, where where we know where everything is.
Yeah.
When a competitor has checked off when they either have or know where every item they required is located, they can just go past everything they don't need to. Hence the term go mode.
Yeah. People are saying chat perfectly. It's when the runner stops needing to check extra chat locations. That's when they're in go mode. And there we go. That is Ninban grabbing the Master Sword pedestal and drawing the coin of ether from within.
All right, and with that coin freed from the pedestal, they're just a flight and a transition into Turtle Rock, gun through that, and they've got a date with Ganon. But let us rewind to, well, what got us here? Started us off in the escape sequence. We had boots and a sword. We cleared through all of the light world, had flippers, Titan's mitts, and hammer, but no moon pearl. A clear through Aga 1 found us the moon pearl.
Actually, wait a minute. Don't we play a game?
They still had they're gonna clear. They still have to beat Turtle Rock.
That's right.
I'm not gonna start until Trinex.
Right. Jumping the gun there a little bit. My mistake.
It's okay, but we're off to it. It's definitely an exciting and quick seed on Taale's side. So now back to where I was at. So now we have the moon pearl in on the pyramid ledge. The next thing is we go to Thieves Town. We take out Blind the Thief, and there's the fire rod. That gives us access to the Ice Palace. Go in there. The first items we find are the magic cape. What was the other one? The magic cape and the cane. Then we need to go out magic cape and something, and then we have to go back to Spike Cave to find the hook shot in order to clear out the rest of Ice Palace, which gives us everything up into the mirror, which is in Super Bunny Cave, throwing us up in an early go mode. But first, we had to stop by the pedestal and grab the Ether Medallion in order to open up Turtle Rock, which Ninban is now inside. Now they're just a Trinex fight away from a date with Ganon's Tower. And it goes to show you how execution and just making the right decisions for this season. Well, this is perhaps really logic that doesn't lend itself to speed. Ninban is looking toward a potential for like 140, 145, depending on Ganon's Tower big key placement. Meanwhile, Taale is taking care of the land Molus here.
Big key and small key to start us off here in Turtle Rock.
Taale still has a bit of execution ahead of him. They still have to take care of a Go Mode Swamp Palace, as well as finishing off Eastern, and then they have to make their second dip into the Palace of Darkness. Alright, so we'll just have to see what the chain chomps are guarding. Had to be another key so we can keep progressing.
Yeah. They didn't have a key, we wouldn't be able to.
Where the big key is. Alright, with that Taale now into the Dark World, they're gonna go ahead and knock out their date with King Helmasaur. Now we get to go hang out with some Hokubokus and make our way to the vanilla Big Key location, which appears to be our current Big Key location.
No, we already had the big key.
Oh, I missed that. I apologize. We just need to snipe a key. Who wants to deal with Laser Bridge? We certainly don't. Though we haven't seen the silver arrows yet, but I don't think Ninban cares.
I mean, if nothing else, Ganon will tell us where they are, just for lulz.
Well,
But given
location.
how thorough we've been with the seed, they're either here in GT or they are somewhere in the overworld or in Ganon's Tower. Because we've literally full cleared every dungeon prior, I think.
Well, there's a few that there's
We know both items in Maya are accounted for.
Okay.
Because we know one of them is if firelocked on the left side. And the other one we found right away.
Yep, there's no dig spot, no magic bat, no mushroom. Graveyard ledge was never checked.
I don't think Bummer Gate was ever checked either.
I don't think. Yeah, another thing. I don't think either of our owners actually got eyes on Bumper Ledge. For those asking, the game mode this week was standard. Defeat Ganon. However, this time it turned out to be an all dungeon seed because Aga 1 pedestal required.
Yeah. Aga 1, for those just not tuning in, had our Moon Pearl on the pyramid, so required so we used essentially locking Darkhold access. And Ether was required for Turtle Rock, and, well, it's a pedestal seed for a reason. You can probably guess where that showed up.
Alright, with that, it's just a gold sword fight Trinax for Ninban. So this one will be
pretty
quick.
fast fight.
Meanwhile, Taale, she still needs to clear through a Go Mode Swamp Palace as well as killing off the Armos Knights and then into Turtle Rock. This race is looking to be Ninban's to lose.
Yeah.
I appreciate the I think we can call this game mode Oops All Dungeons. Shoutouts to chat on that one. It definitely seems like the route and the story of this play was being able to do the bonker. So with that, I'm actually going to go ahead and stop my train of thought there.
Yeah, and I'll start explaining the game. So, folks, we have 22 chests in Ganon's Tower, and it looks like the bot's not working. One of which is the big key. Give us a number in chat to tell us where you think that big key will show up today.
You try to start it, see if it'll go.
I'll start it.
Kick it.
Nope, looks like bot's down.
Alright, so get your guesses in. I'm still going to give you credit for internet points.
Yeah.
I will just go ahead. Perhaps I will draw the line for when guesses are no longer valid. Unfortunately,
That's right.
There won't be a chance for the big key, the leaderboard, but I'll still show you some love.
Yeah. Maybe someone can add it in later. Or something, I don't know. But Bungie, we haven't even said our picks.
17. What about you?
Dalfo's room.
All right. And with that, we are up the stairs, and I'm gonna draw the line right about here. All right. So let us see here. Check number 1, the Bob's torch. That's a piece of art. There are 22 chests for those asking.
Yeah, there's 22 locations. One of them is a plain sight check. That is the torch. All right, Dalfo's room. Small key.
3
Small key. 4, 10 arrows. 5. As he gets the mirror out, 20 rupees. This looks to be Dark Magician.
And why is this called Dark Magician, you ask? because there was a guy who went by Dark Magician who this is what they did. Number
Magic
6,
powder.
magic powder. Number 7, small key.
Yeah, it's going full Dark Magician.
And there's a reason that nobody actually checks counts the big chest, because the big key can't be in there.
Indeed. And there's also 5 other chests. Oh, 4 other chests besides that, but those are all upstairs behind a big key door. So in actuality, there are actually 27 checks here, but we only care about the first 22.
And we're not playing Key Sanity, folks.
Well, Key Sanity just throws an entire wrench to the works, because Ganon's Tower Big Key can literally be anywhere.
Alright, number 8, piece of heart. Number 9, also piece of heart. Number 10, 3 bombs. And number 11, the map. We're moving on. On the right side of your screen, we have Armos on the ground. Losing a little bit of control of the quick kill, but shouldn't be too much longer for Taale.
3 more arrows. Down they go. Right side is dead, so it was full left today.
Alright, let's go ahead and clear our way further along.
Location 12 here is going to be the vanilla map chest.
This time, however, heart container.
And yeah, number 22, folks, is most assuredly the tile room, as we call it, because no one likes checking tile room.
And looks like I've never seen the boomerang hit both of those before.
The angle is just steep enough. I've seen it happen.
I don't watch enough NMG.
It happens in Randomizer. Alright, fire snake room.
Lucky number 13, piece of heart. We're moving off to the randomizer room. Why do we call it that? Because the only time you're going to visit this room is the randomizer.
Yep. If you try going here in vanilla as a misnomer, there's just 20 arrows and 6 bombs waiting for you in the chests. That's essentially what most of the loose chests here in Ganon's Tower basement is. It's just ammo restores. There's our big key.
And there we are at number 14. And I'm going to see if anyone grabbed that correctly. And I'm going to give a shout out to Orphanox. Nailed it right on the head at number 14. Unfortunately, no leaderboard I can throw you on because the bot seems to have been stolen by Ganon. But with that, Ninban is heading up to the Tower Gauntlet. Congratulations to you. You have won a lifetime supply of A Link to the Past Randomizer seeds. Just head over to ALTTPR.com to get started today. Meanwhile, Taale into their Go Mode Swamp Palace.
And also add that if you don't have time to play Randomizer seeds, there is a simulator so you can just as quickly play a seed randomly.
Just, you know, without actually grabbing a controller and moving around.
Yeah.
Kind of like a point-and-click version of the randomizer.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is, yeah.
Sign up for your own point-and-click adventure today. And just to tell you where we're at, folks, Ninban is heading up the Ganon's Tower climb. Taale still has to take care of this Swamp Palace, as well as the revisit of Pod, which I believe we've already completed. So they're going to be up there shortly, but just the story of this seed came down to: could you do one of the harder Ice Palace bomb jump, circumventing the hookshot requirement? That is where it came from. Where this gap came from. It led Ninban to go into Ice Palace a lot sooner.
Yeah. They basically said, Fire Rod, go into ice. And that paid out in spades.
It took a while for Taale to find the hookshot, which was in the Spike Cave, which is kind of an location if you ask me to find something like that. As is Spike Cave, usually just a kind of a bleh location in overall.
Oh, hey, look, full menu.
Only thing we're missing right now, only thing was there's only 2 things we have not found yet, and that's the mushroom and the silver arrows to have full access to our menu.
Yeah, we know that each runner picked up a different second bottle. The 4th one is waiting for them in Mire. No one's gonna picking it up.
No, that's fine.
We know where at least one of the shields were. I'm not sure about the second one, the final shield. But we don't really care about that. Ninban gonna reset the room.
Quick work of the Argus fight here. Gold sword lends to a speedy fight. Ninban goes ahead and grabs that full magic decanter. Waits for the not despawning Ganon's tower.
Yeah, that's a very specific thing, but it can happen.
It looks like Ninban is going to go ahead and knock out these 2 quick checks to see if maybe there's silvers inside. No dice.
If Ninban's looking for silvers, probably will check all the chests here. Because he knows that the odds of him finding the silvers are pretty high. Alright, Taale is done with Swamp. Now, is it in here? No, it is not. So it's either was at Bob's chest. Bob is an anti-fairy we lovingly nicknamed here in the community.
Armos on ice.
Or it's Overworld. Or Laser Bridge.
It could be Big Chest as well.
Could be big chest. So we'll find out here as we get to Aga 2.
Now here we are, folks, at our second required geometry chest of the seed.
And this is the... You say test, I say more like final exam.
I'm not sure if we're at 2 or 3 right now.
I think that was 2. That's 3. Getting
With
really
Taale.
unlucky with the blue balls being synced up the way they are.
And Taale has pulled
4.
their point from the pedestal.
5. Wow, it's a single little hit per cycle. Oh, and they missed the shot.
Blue balls are kind of rude this seed. Wouldn't you agree? And with that, the king of all bacon is on the loose. Ninban's heading into Ganon.
It is now time to fight the pig. That was a very tilting Aga 2 fight there for Ninban. That was pretty rough, I will admit. Missed the cycle, so it was, and only got 1 shot per pass.
Alright, so with this, we're at a pretty good inventory with this. Will be a silverless fight, but we're on blue mail. We've got all the hearts we need. We've got gold sword.
Yeah, so it'll be 6 slashes to start things off here. Here for Ganon throwing the Titan around. Then it'll be the fire shield phase. Phase 2 of Ganon. Same thing, 6 slashes. Gonna be a little harder to get in on Ganon, though. But not too bad. And then once Ganon teleports away, it will begin phase 3, which is the fire spin phase. If you don't hit Ganon...
hold still phase.
Yeah. They'll teleport randomly, and if he gets around long enough, he will shoot a spiraling fire event across the room, which could knock you into the pits he's making as you're hitting him down. After all the perimeter breaks, it is time for the phase 4, the darkness technique. Keep the torches lit, as you can only hit Ganon that way.
And
Silvers were indeed on Turtle Rock Laser Bridge.
Alright, and Ninban does pull off the torch glitch, pretty much required if you're going to be doing a silverless fight.
Yeah, it is 12 spin attacks now as Ganon teleports away. That is an important distinction.
You can't just spin it right away.
And this is a 2-frame window. You could slash this phase, and it would work.
But Force of Habit says you go for the spins you're used to doing with Tempered and Master Sword.
Spins are far more consistent, and realistically, it is a 2-frame window to land the damage, to bypass the damage. It's true. Like, we are doing here for Silverless. If Silvers are in play, hit the pig, make him blue, 4-star arrows, and down he goes. And the torch glitch is a glitch in which we light the left torch before the right torch goes out, and the right torch will never go out during the fight. And that is GG. You let him fly there for Ninban.
Just a 1x3 bridge is all that separates Ninban from victory for Le France Canyon. And with that, I am happy to announce that Ninban has finished his race in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 18 seconds. Get your GGs in chat. Well done. Well, chat said it best there, Wolflink. This was Captain Ganon's Oops All Dungeons.
I've actually seen an image of that. I'm not gonna lie.
I kind of want to see it now. But no, the story of this seed was AGA 1 we have AGA pedestal requirements to complete this seed. And the other big story being whether you could do the Ice Palace bomb jump that gets you across the hookshot required room. Because that was what held Taale that's what it appears kept Taale out of Ice Palace for as long as they did. Because once they had their hookshot, they went right to it. And the hookshot was in Spike Cave.
I don't know if I should regret, by the way, joining this race later like I did, or not joining it at all. This was a fun one to do.
Definitely been a lot of fun.
Let's see if Ninban wants to join us for an interview here.
And it would appear that is the case, as we have now been joined by Ninban in the chat. GG's to you.
Hello.
So,
GG's to you, Ninban.
So what do you think of this Oops All Dungeon seed?
It was fun. Like most seeds.
Yeah. So, the real thing here that just made the seed just explode for you is the simple fact of the fire rod decision. Taking it and going straight to Ice Palace, that's what ultimately made you just explode through the seed.
Yeah, I guess that was the... Yeah, that was nice.
As well as the cape, which was your logical access to the hookshot.
Oh yeah.
The logic told you this was a double dip of Ice Palace, but you didn't
No.
need to do that. That bomb jump across the hookshot room was
No.
really what sealed the deal.
The Ice Palace was not a hookshot locked.
Oh, we were.
You could do it without the hookshot.
Well, I wasn't
Perhaps
sure where the
Taale
big
didn't think so.
small keys were.
Yeah.
It was on the right side.
Aha.
So
Well-
it's not hookshot locked when it's on the right side.
Alright, so moving on from that, how do you feel about the Randomizer League as this is the final race for your team?
It was a lot of fun. Getting to fight all the teams and having my teammates. Also having to cheer for them and all. That was fun.
We'll see if Taale will show us which chest has. Nope, not gonna get the silver arrows.
By the way, if you were curious, that was exactly where they were at, just we don't know which one.
Did he take the big chest? I wasn't following.
I don't
I don't think
remember.
you checked the big. Taale checked the big chest. No.
I
We
think
know they were here in
in
Turtle Rock, at
Ganon.
least.
I think you were in the Ganon fight while we were while they were checking the big chest. So with the end of the league, was there something coming up for your future here, Ninban?
Well, I'm in quarterfinals, I think, of the French tournament.
Nice.
So that's fun. Yeah. Besides that, yeah, not much. I still hang around ALTTPR anyway.
Oh, absolutely. So Taale is going ahead and taking care of their Trinex fight, and they're off to Ganon's tower. Just overall, well executed. I mean, despite the fact that this was a oops all dungeon scene where we have to do Aga 1 and the pedestal, you still came in at just over 145.
The boots helped.
Yeah, the boots helped a lot. I feel.
And
Hints, on the other hand, for the most part, did not, except for, you know, obviously the one hint that's consistent, the pedestal information.
And the hint system led to time saved. So that's no cutscene chest, no left side swamp. Is what that led to, and no pyramid fairy.
Yeah, those were cool to avoid.
Yeah. Wish you could have avoided that Aga seed, though. At least the Aga part of this.
No, it was fun to do. The game Star Wars is fun. With that Master Sword and the hammer, it was easy.
Yeah. Easy, but...
You know, I will defend the fact that I don't really care for Aga that much. But if I'm being forced to do it, give me the lamp. That's all I want, is just give me the lamp. I'm not doing those dark rooms. I refuse to learn them.
Yeah, the lamp was actually pretty easy in this scene. Was it in Kakariko or something?
I don't know. I actually joined this race 10 minutes in.
So what item were you looking for, or what did you want to hear? I'm sorry?
No, I'm just saying the lamp was easy in this scene. It was in Kak.
Yeah, it was just in Kakariko Village. So there was, but it pretty much told you right out the gate. Well, here's the boots, here's the lamp, here's 2 swords. Go to Aga, please, but not for Lumberjack.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, meanwhile, you feel free to stick around or hang out. Any final comment before we continue on Taale's side?
Well, I'm sad I won't be here to watch Taale finish because I'm joining the weekly haze that's starting in 5 minutes. So I just go ahead and prepare myself.
Yeah, the weekly standard race.
And well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for putting on a great show for us. GG for pulling off another win for your team, and hopefully when we get to see our fall season of this, we'll see you back.
Yeah, for sure. You'll be seeing me back.
I'm looking forward to the fall main tournament. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but that should be about the time Version 31 drops.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of exciting randomizer to be seen.
Indeed.
V31 is extremely hype for me. With other things that it will change. So, yeah, goodbye. Thank you for commentating, hacking, streaming, everything.
Yeah, and then
Thank you so much for joining us.
yeah, I think the change I'm most interested in going forward with Version 31 is the fact that we're going to be adding a competitive setting to it, and that's going to remove a lot of the free safeties we're used to, like the soft lock prevention on fake flippers.
Now, I'll admit I have not read into Version 31 at all lately.
I've only heard a few things. There's a
heard
whole
my-
like dev thought pastement on the Discord. If you want to give it a read.
I may have to check that out, though. I found myself invested in some other randomizers lately, but definitely always love to be here for the commentaries, especially this Link to the Past Randomizer League. I have thought has been an absolute blast for the word go. A team-based format is so much of a different direction from most of our Link to the Past Randomizer happenings. Where it's not just about, it's not just mono a mono. It's not, all four-person restreams with 1,500, 100 and some odd runners going for qualifiers. This is groups of 3 players. Two have to play each week against another team. So the thought of burnout isn't there. You're not playing every week. You're not having to schedule every race for yourself. I mean, your teammates can step in and do it. And being able to play and there's all these different modes are involved. We had standard, we had open. Just a lot of fun stuff there. And I'm excited for what this what this could lead to in the future. Whereas I think this is very successful. And we're not even in playoffs yet.
Indeed, there's gonna be a lot more coming down the line.
Well, Taale is up onto their tower climb. spike trap making their blocking one of their arrows.
Alright, so now it's time for the gauntlet for Taale. And actually, isn't there a match happening in just a few minutes?
Let me look at the schedule. In fact, there's one going on right now, or two of them actually, that are just about to kick off. We've got Dante we've got Scary Olive and Top Life, 2 proletariats versus the Leftovers. And then that's on Speed Gaming 4, and just about now, the big match of the day, Team 4K, 4th, and Forehead, and Phendrana Drifters, that's Gem versus Jet. Both teams are tied for first place in this Death Mountain division.
So we got the top 2 teams going at it. That's gonna be a great one to watch, actually. I might tune into that.
There's a lot of fun action to be seen on this last day of the race. Now, depending on what happens in this race, remember that the second race between Phendrana Drifters and 4K, 4th, and Forehead is this evening on Speed Gaming 2 at 8 p.m. Eastern. Depending on how the tiebreakers shake out, which I'll have more information when I'm on the commentary for that race tonight, I'll have the full rundown on how the scenarios work out. Should be a lot of fun as Taale is making their way up further through the gauntlet.
Yeah. No, misses getting the Wizard there.
And I think the spike trap stopped that block that time.
It happens sometimes.
Spike traps being spike traps. So just a couple fire puzzles, and then a fight with Moldorm left.
And then a fight with Agatu, and then a fight with Ganon. Let's be real.
As far as the... Jeez.
I just realized how nice the powder refine was just in this tower, actually. That she had this nice refill at the end.
It's always good to find the powder somewhere along the line for just a little bit of extra safety.
Alright, Taale needs to just defeat Moldorm 2 here.
And now
Nice
let's
and
wait
easy.
for the explosions. Just a little bit off there, checking the Moldorm's last positions, hoping to find a silver arrow. Is not to be.
We're getting a little bit of a glimpse at the standard race that Ninban's taking part of. Looks like he will have bad luck. I highly doubt that. He's already won his race today.
Who knows? There's a lot to be seen on that side, but so if you are interested in following him, is this being restreamed? I don't believe it is.
I don't think the standards are being restreamed anymore. It's usually the open weeklies that are.
Yes.
I am part of the weekly crew, so I would know that.
All right. But it's it's looking kind of familiar. For those asking, Ninban is currently having already completed the seed. They are participating in the weekly standard race.
Yeah.
I don't know a way to send this off.
We'll see about killing his feet here in a little bit. We should have closed that a little bit ago, actually. But yeah, Ninban has already finished his race, so he's doing another seed on his own channel. In case you're wondering, there is no restream for the standard weekly race, but it does happen every Saturday at 3 p.m. for our community, for the Link to the Past Randomizer community. Eastern Daylight Time.
All right, Taale's turn to fight the pig.
All right, here they are. We get a little bit more grain facts here on Ganon's side. We're setting up for another silverless fight. They were so close to silver arrows, yet so far.
Yeah, spins don't do anything. I should also add to Ganon on Gold Sword.
Now we just wait for the big pig to hold still long enough to have a sword swung through it a few times. Pulling out their torch, their lamp, making sure that they land their torch wedge, because that is required if you're really going to get a silverless Ganon fight on.
Oh yeah. They do have the half magic though, so shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Making sure they don't get grabbed by the fire bat on the way to the torch. Alright, set it up. We're almost done with this Ganon fight. Just about done there. Couldn't be too many more left.
Yeah. Taale needs to be careful though. I think one of those Ganon hooks is death. But down goes Taale.
Alright, get your GGs in chat, folks. Just a 1x3 bridge Zelda separates Taale from the end of this seed.
Yes,
and the end of their Link to the Past Randomizer League experience. Get your GGs out there, and with that, they've crossed the finish line. And they will finish in an SRL time of 2 hours, 2 minutes, 39 seconds. You get one wish, choose wisely.
It looks like they have left the IRC, so we'll see that. And we've also lost Ninban speed here, it looks like, so we'll see if Taale will care to join us. Unfortunately, they are currently not in the race room anymore, so
it looks like we're gonna have to head and send this off into that good night, as we have to go ahead and make way for the Final Fantasy I Randomizer Spring.
oh yeah, I know that community as well. I'm helping them out a little bit. So yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
That was a great race between these two runners, and a tough seed to be fought nonetheless.
Yes, indeed.
Pedestal required, Agar required. I mean, it's all just lends to a tough time, and with that, I mean, just not going to Ice Palace was the key between victory and defeat there.
Yeah, but more importantly, folks, make sure to follow Taale and Ninban, our two runners here today, putting on excellent race for us. Also, make sure to give Bungie and a follow my co-commentator as well as Mage, our tracker. And of course, Speed Gaming 2 through 6. You don't miss any racing action, not just Link to Past Randomizer.
And
we're gonna make.
There's a lot going on today. In just a few minutes, the Final Fantasy I Randomizer will be taking off. They're also playing on 2 later today. Also on this channel at 5 p.m. Eastern is the interactive race between Mikan and Death Futon. There's some Azure Dreams later tonight on Speed Gaming 4 as well, and the Donkey Kong Country 3 on Speed Gaming 3 with more Super Metroid Prodigy. There's the spoiler logged quarterfinals on this channel tonight, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. Should be a lot of fun. Also, keep your lockout. There's more Link to the Past Randomizer League going on right now on Speed Gaming 3. There's Jet versus Gem. That match has huge playoff implications as those two teams are playing for the #1 seed overall. As well, on Speed Gaming 5 and Speed Gaming 4, there is the Overworld Glitches tournament that has now begun. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. But we really should, speaking of those Final Fantasy 1 players, so we really should clear it up. So from all of us here at Link to Past Randomizer, I have been Wolfling0370, and we just see you all next time, and thank you for watching. Have a good day, everyone. Stay tuned for that Final Fantasy 1 randomizer.
Good night and good rando.